So, coming some back, coming back to the extension of the subject of the last video, I was speaking about this idea of faith and believing as a possible self-idealization and the searching for the true God, which I think to me is the new idea. I only grasped that. Of course, I have always talked on that idea before, but in the way that it impacted me now is like I must do it. I must take the risk. I must take the boldness. I must take the courage. Just as to resemble Abraham's faith, the courage to break out of those idols of his family, his father's house, his beliefs, to have the courage and the boldness to seek for himself perhaps, and the ambition and the boldness to go. I go to the biggest one. If there are many, there are one who is bigger than all of them. And the courage, the boldness. I take this risk. I think it's worthy. So he did like that, and thank God, thank the true God, he succeeded so much. We have his inheritance as our blessing. So, and I am still holding on Abraham story to give me nutrients for this idea, because each one of us, when we read from the Bible, the God of the Bible, is inevitable that each one of us create our own version of God. And don't believe that lie also, the first lie that say that we would be like God. No, God had said first that we had been made on his likeness. He didn't say that we have been made on his exactly likeness in proportion, in size, but he said clearly that we have been made in his likeness, perhaps in a shorter proportion and dimension of that power. But it implies that we are as powerful as we are being said to be throughout history. For any source of philosophy and study, everybody says that we are powerful, and we are. We just don't know how to use it. Perhaps it may be better not to know how to use it, because we may be tempted to use it for bad, as it is used many times. So going back to the idea of Abraham and Lot, to me, it connects with the subject of the last video, which is a kind of critical thinking about the religion in churches. So the simple idea, think about this, the simple idea that the diversity of different unities of different types of churches out there implies lies. If they cannot come together in a unified idea of God, they are going to sell themselves for their vision. And as we know, there are only one truth. Perhaps it may the result of the lie, dismissive lies. And connecting with the subject of Abraham, God used the story of Abraham and Lot as a very good example of that. The God that we feed our minds, our beliefs. So I see today, and I have always seen, so I'm the person who I look to Christians, I look to some religious people at many times, and I look with fear. And I sure look with fear. Why? Because I realize that those people who think, who has the belief, the faith that they can bless, the level of opposites is together, they at the same time feel and have the right, that they have the right and the power to curse. So when I met many Christians that I have the talk that would ask them, what are many Christians together? I have the desire to ask them, how many people have you cursed today? The reason for that question is that the temptation becomes, and the provocation, they get tempted to do that. They get tempted to do that, and perhaps they may do that every day, and they think they are justified by God doing that. But Jesus said that we shall not desire bad to anyone, and leave to him any justice that we desire for ourselves. And how hard is that to do? And in our faith, in the faith that a person gets, think faith is not related only to God. If it was related only to God, evil would have no power whatsoever, would have no power. But he has power, doesn't it? So faith is not a thing that is only related with God. Since God has made us on his likeness, we have power. We have this power of belief. Everything is true. There are no lies. The lies that we believe were lies, this cup, perhaps 1,000 years ago, if we said someone, this will be possible to be made. This is possible to be made. If I got the vision and I said someone, perhaps that person would call me crazy and sell me out of the idea. Or especially for the technological stuff we get today, many things that there are no lies. The lie is the desire to deceive someone, is the desire to harm, is the desire to position, to create difference in between us, to make someone is less intelligent than us, or, controlling. Our own nature is controlling. So in Abraham and Lot, the videos, I only can make short videos, unfortunately, for now. Abraham and Lot, it is the same God. It is the same God, but Lot was in a position of being a disciple of Abraham. Abraham was in position, impossibly being and desiring to be a mentor to Lot. In my mind, what caused Lot? What caused us to deviate from the idea of the true God? Where do we lose connection and step on Lot's path? God uses that as such a perfect example. In between the same path, they are the diagonal path. And is such a good example because the results of that decision, of that mindset, of that pursuing of Lot, that outcome was not good. Perhaps Lot's family was redeemed later by Ruth's decision of following Naomi's God. The story is perfect, and by that God then redeemed family's Lot, at least that branch of the family. Ruth was the granddaughter of Lot. But see how it's true that in the same idea, there are lies. There are different gods. There are different versions of gods that we can nurture ourselves, that we can make our beliefs. And through that belief, since we are powerful, depending on the level of power that every person has gathered, has the deep desire in his heart, or to bless or to harm, those can cause a lot of harm outside, and still thinking that's God's will and power and blessing to them. I need to end the video. Sorry.